So let's take a look at parameters. We're going to use this simple graph to illustrate the concept of a parameter. And here we're reading in customers, sorting it by country, then company name, and writing it out to a file. So that's going to read in all 91 customers that I've got. What happens if I'm only interested in a subset, let's say in French customers? Well, this is where we use a parameter. So let me alter this graph and show you how it's done. The first thing I'm going to do is to put in a filter component. We're going to need to filter by country. So let's drag that in. And let's redirect this edge and connect our new edge. Okay, let's make a bit of space. And we'll right click here and select the metadata to customers. Now we'll double click and we'll set the filter expression. Just grab this into our field of view. Okay, so what we would do here, we would say, well, where country equals, and this is where we need our parameter. At the bottom here on the left-hand side, it lists for us the graph parameters. We haven't got one for country yet, so let's go and create one now. So in the outline panel here, you can see we've got a section called parameters. So let's right-click down to parameters, and we're going to create an internal parameter. Now, an internal parameter is a parameter that is local to this graph only, so it can't be seen by any other graphs. Let's add one. We'll give it a name, country, and here we also set the value. So each time before we want to run our graph, we come here to change the value. We're going to set this to France right now. Okay, and you can see it now appears as an internal parameter. Let's go back to our filter and go and set the condition properly. Let's get this back in. There we are. So, country equals, and now when we scroll down here, we can see our parameter country. So we'll double click on that, and that's it. That's all we have to do. And wherever you might see dollar squiggly bracket parameter name close squiggly bracket, that's what it means. So let's click on OK, and now let's just run it and see what happens. I haven't put this debug on, but it doesn't matter. I'll check the debug at the end here. Okay, that looks successful. 91 in, 11 out. Let's quickly go here to view the data, and we should see, there we are, just French customers, which will then be written out to this file. Now this is an internal parameter, as I said, which means it's only visible from this graph. What happens if I want to create a parameter which lots of different graphs share? Well, all I have to do is to externalize this. So I'm going to externalize my parameter or parameters, and that will write it to a file. So let's just change this to be called country palms. And where do I want it to go? Well, we'll have it in the customers project. I could put this anywhere on my file system, I guess, but let's just put this there. And now you can see we've got a file called countrypalms.prm. So if I were to open up another graph now, let's go and load this one. And if I wanted to share that, you can see I'd have to load it in to this graph's parameter list. So let's come here to parameters, link parameter file, and there is country palms. And now I'll be able to reference that from within this graph. So I hope that's given a good idea of parameters. One other type of parameter which is really useful for certain types of applications is being able to pass a parameter over an HTTP call, web service call. That's actually dealt with in the advanced section, and that would allow you to set up parameterized lookups or general parameterized graphs. So take a look in the advanced section if you're interested in web service parameters.